So guys, today is the final damage class hunter profile for Star Wars Hunters pre-launch, and the character for that is Utooni, the Jawa brothers in a long trench coat playable in the game. Unfortunately, we don't know too much about Utooni other than the fact that they are brothers and they stand on top of each other, and it's also been said that they were too small to compete on their own, so standing on top of each other is their way around that. But given that score is quite small as well, it's interesting what the limit actually is. And what I love about the name Utooni is the fact that Utooni is a word that everyone knows the Jawas by, and because there are two of them, they've turned Utooni into Utooni. Now I know that's not necessarily a huge thing for some people, but I just think that's really cool. Utooni also has two weapons. By default, he starts with a CA-87 shock blaster, which is what the Jawas always carry around, and via an ability of his, he can change that into a short-ranged arc caster. So in total, Utooni has 5 abilities, 3 active, 1 passive, and their ultimate. The first ability, as I just mentioned, is to be able to swap their weapons from the shock blaster to the arc caster and back. Their second ability is called hands off, and that's where the bottom Jawa pulls out this little shock pistol and knocks back any enemy in the area affected, whilst dealing quite a bit of damage as well. So this is super useful up close. And then their third ability is an ion imploder, which will drag any enemy into the center of it who are within the area of effect. So using this and then that little shock blaster pistol sometimes works an absolute treat. Their passive ability is that when they get defeated, they drop a grenade, which will deal some hefty damage to anyone standing on it. And over the years, I've gotten quite a few kills with this. And finally, their ultimate is a scrap cannon, where as Jawas, they create a little sandcrawler sort of vehicle out of scrap parts and a treadwell droid with a mini green Death Star laser, which is a huge amount of fun. As for what skins you can expect to see from them, it is quite hard to say right now, as they've only really had some fancy variants of their default outfit. One really cool skin though is this Dewback Trooper, where the top Jawa is essentially the Stormtrooper and the bottom is basically the Dewback, as we see in A New Hope. We also do have this IG Assassin Droid skin, which is really cool as well, but again, it's just like a fancy iteration of their default, so I don't really know too much about what we can expect to see in the future, but I imagine we'll get to see a lot more stuff regarding the droids. So guys, that is it for the damage class characters. Be sure to go back and take a look at the others if you haven't already. Next, I'll be heading on to the support class characters in the game, so subscribe to the channel if you haven't already so you don't miss out on those. That is it from me today though. Thank you all very much for watching, and may the force be with you always.